Hey guys, it's Zach. Hope you're having a great week. We're currently in our 6th week in our study in the book of Acts. Last week we looked at chapters 8 through 12. It was a big chunk, but Ernie did a great job. And if you haven't heard it, go to our podcast. You can just search for Sojourn Marietta in the search bar, and you'll be able to find it. We looked at two different things. The first was the conversion of Saul. So we see a man who is opposed to God's mission, and he's opposed to the gospel, and he's imprisoning believers. He approved of Stephen's execution and martyrdom, and he's going up to Damascus to imprison more Christians. On his way up there, he is confronted by Jesus. He sees him face to face, encounters him, and he's radically transformed. So we see through an encounter with Jesus, we see a man that is totally opposed to the gospel actually come to believe and saving faith in Jesus Christ. And so it's a beautiful picture that no one is outside of God's grasp, that God's hand is not too short to save. There's nobody outside of God's grasp. And so that was the first thing. The second thing we looked at was a vision that Peter had. And up to this point, the gospel had been shared in synagogues among the Jewish people. There had been some Gentile, which just means non-Jew. There's been some Gentile people who had come to faith in Jesus. But here we see a decisive move for the inclusion of the Gentiles. And so Peter receives this vision. Then he goes into a Gentile's house and shares the gospel. And they all believe, and then the Holy Spirit falls. And so again, it's a beautiful picture of God reaching out to those who are far off, who aren't near, and including everybody in his mission. So with that said, I want to invite you guys to join in our prayer initiative. And so just a reminder, it's one topic at 2 p.m. for 3 minutes. So set a reminder in your phone if you haven't done it yet, if you haven't joined us yet, or if you've forgotten, it's no problem. Just hit reset. Let's start again. And our prayer this week is this. It's, God, you're bigger than we've seen you be here. Do something for the sake of your name. So we want to ask him, we want to ask God to do as he did with Saul, to break into people's hearts and lives around us. We need God. And so let's join him in prayer and ask him to do something great in our midst, in East Cobb, in Marietta. This coming week, I'm going to be preaching on Acts 13 and 14. And I want to encourage you guys to read that. It's awesome. We're going to look at the church in Antioch and what it means to be a sending church. We're going to look at a few characteristics. And in God's grace, we're praying that God would raise up those characteristics in Sojourn, that we might be a sending church as well. I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you on Sunday.